The Pittsburgh Steelers, they've got a really good problem. And okay, it'd probably be more provocative to talk about a dramatic quarterback battle as the Steelers are about to go into camp. It might be better for clicks as I'm starting this new channel, but here's the thing. While some believe the Pittsburgh Steelers are about to head to training camp with a quarterback battle on the horizon, this simply isn't true. And NFL insider Diana Rossini, she made it clear that the Pittsburgh Steelers plan on having Russell Wilson as their starting quarterback in 2024, but she also noted that the dynamic Justin Fields, he'll have a special package. And this is straight from her. We'll start with the idea of Justin Fields having some packages for him in this offense. 100%, that's the plan. They've already worked on it, but it's in the playbook. So you're going to see that in Arthur Smith's playbook and defensive coordinators around the league, they're all prepared for that. That's not news to them at all. So let me make it clear. Russell Wilson is the starter. It's going to be a competitive training camp. Justin Fields is there for a reason, but they want Russell Wilson, the veteran, the guy who knows how to do it, to be the starter coming out of week one. So I think this quarterback battle should be fully open in training camp. I think having a dynamic Justin Fields, him fighting to be the starter, that's a very good problem to have. And what's up? This is Sports Talk Steelers. I'm your host, Sean. Full disclosure, we're Bears fans here. We have a Bears channel. But you know what? Covering the NFL is so much fun. When the Bears are out of it, which they are a lot, I roll with the Steelers. They're so fun to watch. I've always followed them, and I get the privilege of being a major news source for your Pittsburgh Steelers. So you know what? Like and subscribe. Let's start something new here. Let's start a family. So we're looking at Justin Fields even preparing to jump in. That should the Steelers start slow, right? The question, is it wise for him to be a gadget player only as the season goes on? There's even talk that he'd be returning kicks during the offseason, which since then that nonsense has been debunked. And being primarily a Bears fan, there's one thing that I know. I know Justin Fields, and let's talk this through. Remember Cordell Stewart? I mean, the term slash, that was his moniker, right? But I don't think it's been a model of success to switch out quarterbacks or have them play dual roles as a permanent solution. I mean, it's just not a great plan in my eyes. But granted, Fields playing 10 snaps a game, really charging up the offense, making it dynamic. That sounds like so much fun. But man, Fields can be the franchise quarterback for this team, and he absolutely should get a chance to do it from day one. So let's talk this through. We all know the obvious book on Justin Fields, and I want to share that with you. Dynamic plays with his legs, high performance games, some not so much, not a ton of equilibrium right on teams he's been on, lots of ups and downs, but undeniable talent. Both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, they're essentially free on one-year deals for Pittsburgh. Denver's paying Russell Wilson's salary, and Wilson's a full decade older. But beyond the lack of receivers, poor coaching, I mean, as a Bears fan, once again, I can list the excuses, but I think the most egregious error the Bears made with Fields is that they never fixed his footwork. In fact, they simply just tinkered with it in a way that really hampered his development. Just nothing was consistent, constant tinkering, no continuity in coaching or personnel. You guys have such a wonderful setup here. Coach Mike Tomlin, he is one of the most stable and one of the most successful coaches in the league, and that is such a blessing. I think Fields has just got to love this switch to Pittsburgh. In fact, it was his preferred destination. And one thing the Bears did right with him that can be credited to GM Ryan Poles, he allowed Fields to go to the team he desired in the trade to the Steelers. That's all changing now. Fields is experiencing some newfound freedom by starting to reset to becoming the quarterback he was meant to be. And I'm going to reference this story on Steelers Now. This is absolutely a fantastic source on this. You guys, this harkens back to OTAs, but it is so relevant. Give it a read. And this is going to be interesting to see what's been happening as the Steelers and Justin Fields head into training camp in about a week. So let's look at this. When Justin Fields first arrived in Chicago in 2021, he was used to placing his right foot forward in the shotgun formation and flipping it back when he received the ball to get ready to throw. It was his natural style. But he came in with some fundamentally unsound footwork. And I'm speaking in generalities here. I'm sure it was addressed a little, but the Bears coaching staffs, they never dialed it in. So instead of fully dialing it in, it feels lazy. They just kind of tinkered with it instead. So in year 2, Luke Getsy, he taught him to place his left foot forward. This is similar to how Aaron Rodgers operated in the pocket in Green Bay. It eases the drop back process. It makes it more, I would say, dance-like. But however, comparing film to his first year, to his time at Ohio State, he just never looked as comfortable the last 2 years dropping back. And the footwork issues, they were still there. Not to mention a case of the yips due to poor coaching. I mean, I can go on. But this is the issue with Getsy. And this is one of the reasons he was fired as offensive coordinator in Chicago. No adjustment to the players he had. No scheme tweak to fit the talent. He appeared to be, in my eyes and so many eyes, on a quest for 2 things. Auditioning for a head coaching job, advertising his scheme, his way of doing things, not a lot of adjustment to player strengths or in-game adjustments even, and just trying to remake the magic he was a part of in Green Bay, even taking a fully different kind and style of quarterback in Justin Fields and trying to force him into the image of Aaron Rodgers, even to the point of conforming his footwork. It's odd that an offensive coordinator would even be that involved with the passer's footwork. It's kind of ridiculous. Even pro quarterback coaches, they aren't necessarily that involved. On top of that, a lot of them work with their own private coaches on mechanics. So although this change in footwork, this change in front foot, making him essentially go goofy foot, this isn't an unusual tweak. It just didn't work well for Justin Fields, and Getsy, in his stubbornness, stuck with it. And it's not really a solution that's prescriptive to success. You guys, this is such a great source. I wanted to keep that up there. Read this whole story. It really gets to the quick of this. So let's look at the opposite way. Let's look at Fields' natural foot position. Some notable examples in the NFL of NFL quarterbacks that start with their right foot forward successfully. That includes Joe Burrow. That includes Justin Herbert. And yes, Russell Wilson plays with this stance as well. A part of this might be team consistency too, delivering the football within the scheme. I mean, if they're going to trade quarterbacks, if they're even going to have their scheme so Fields comes in occasionally. Let's say Russell Wilson doesn't do well and Fields has to take over the starting job. Even if it's a camp battle with dialing in with these wide receivers, you want your quarterbacks to deliver the ball in a consistent manner. And you also want the quarterbacks to do this same right foot forward. It actually makes sense. It's successful for Russell Wilson. And I think it's going to get Justin Fields back to his normal delivery of the football, which was really good. So 2 years of an unnatural drop back. So guess what? The first thing that Fields did when he was free from the mishandling he got from Getsy, he scrapped absolutely everything. He immediately reverted to his original stance and footwork after the snap. He could now move naturally and get to work. So the real issue at hand right now, what to look for? Mechanics-wise, I would say that Fields has to improve the speed of his footwork. He has to improve his throwing motion. And most importantly, excuse me, he must improve his eyes in processing quicker. He was slow in getting to the open man in Chicago. A lot of that, he kind of looked a little shell-shocked. I think he just needed a change in scenery. But he is such a good talent, and it really behooves Pittsburgh to develop that talent and make him their franchise quarterback, because that's going to be a huge get if they get a guy like Justin Fields playing to his potential. I think frankly, Russell Wilson is a little gassed. He hasn't been well liked as a teammate, especially in Denver, and that can be for another story. So let's get to the footwork. Perhaps with a more natural feeling as he plays, Better coaching can help him rise to the potential. I think Pittsburgh has it. How he looks, how his footwork is. This will be the main thing to watch in camp after a summer to work with him. So why is this change being allowed in Pittsburgh? Why the freedom here? Once again, I don't have all the answers right now. We may never fully get them either. But I think, once again, that big part of it is that they want a stance and footwork to match Russell Wilson. Every NFL offense is built around timing, although some more than others. The half-step difference. Say that 10 times fast. That can cause the quarterback to feel rushed in his drop to the point where he's hitching early, waiting on receivers to get to their landmark. And this is from that story. In every pass concept, the goal is to get the receiver's breaks and the quarterback's footwork paired up in sync to where everything feels in rhythm for both parties, and ultimately ensuring that the quarterback's comfortable. That's the most important aspect of coaching the position. Getsy didn't get that in Chicago. Chicago's coaching staff never got it, but it looks like the Steelers coaching staff does. And on its own, changing Justin Fields' stance, footwork, general mechanics, it won't necessarily relaunch his career. There's more work to be done in order to hit a ceiling. However, but there's something here, though. If this approach can help speed up his notoriously slow drop back times, assist him in being more accurate underneath, there's a reason for optimism here. And actually, I think Justin Fields' confidence was ruined doing underneath passes, these short passes in the middle of the field, because so often with Chicago, you saw him hesitate. You saw him even have a little bit of a hesitant hitch. And it's kind of, I'm really looking forward to how Mike Tomlin has had a summer to handle him, how that coaching staff is able to unravel a lot of this stuff. And you might see a Justin Fields come to camp just ready to rock, ready to take over, and ready to show his talent level, that it's not just potential. It is actually, he is a franchise quarterback. So Pittsburgh taking a low-risk dice roll on one of the more physically gifted athletes in the entire NFL. They're going to try to turn him into a more complete quarterback, and I am here for it. And they'd be wise to open up the competition, because if Justin Fields hits, the acquisition of him, that's going to be the move that relaunches not only his career, but this franchise, I would say, for the next decade. And I know life has been hard after Big Ben has left. This could be absolutely the perfect thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers after the debacle that you had with Kenny Pickett. And I appreciate you guys. We are starting to catch a little bit of steam here. Let's open this up on the ground floor and let's do it together as a family. I am so excited to be your primary Pittsburgh Steelers news source. You guys enjoy the offseason. Camp is around the corner, and I will see you soon. See ya.